Hey YouTube, welcome back to Top 10 Beyond the Screen. I'm your host Joss, and first and foremost, I have exciting news. We have officially joined social media, and you can now see all the behind the scenes on our Facebook and Instagram page, which are linked below. So make sure you guys give us a follow to keep up with all the updates. Don't forget, if you hang out with me until the end of this video, you can join in on some fun when I respond to some comments. Today's video is a new experience for me. For the first time in my Beyond the Screen history, I am doing a part 3 to one of my videos. Who knew there was even enough information out there to do such a thing? It's been a lot of fun talking about the different actors that Marvel isn't interested in working with, so today I am doing part 3 to top 10 actors Marvel will never hire. Let's take a look at some of the possibilities. Starting off our list at number 10 is Jason Statham. It came to be a surprise for a lot of people when articles surfaced that Jason had turned down a major role in the MCU. The articles never mentioned which role it was that he turned down, but just that the reasoning was a schedule conflict. The president of Marvel, Kevin Feige, reported that they've asked for the actor in the past, even before this offer, but nothing ever seemed to work out. He also said that Jason was polite about it and said, "Sorry it didn't work out, maybe next time." This was surprising to hear for a lot of people because reports later on surfaced about the actor slamming Marvel and all other superhero movies in general. When rumors started that he was going to play the villain in the upcoming second season of Daredevil, he responded by saying, and I quote, "I could take my grandma and put her in a cape and then put her in a green screen and then have stunt doubles come in and do all the action. Anybody can do it." He also went on to say that he has no ambition to do modern action films like Marvel. So Jason must be a really good actor then when he was telling Kevin Feige, maybe next time. At number 9 is Emily Blunt. This successful actress would never get denied by Marvel based on her talent, but she probably won't be offered any more roles after denying her last 2. That's right, she has said no to Marvel not just once, but twice. This Devil Wears Prada actress was actually the original choice for Black Widow, but Emily turned down the part. She might be regretting that now after seeing all the movies the hero character has been in, and has now been confirmed to have her own hero film coming. She was also offered the role of Peggy Carter in the first Avenger. Fox reports say that they had her under a contract for a film of their choosing, and it was Gulliver's Travel that kept her from showing up for Iron Man 2. The schedules had conflicts and she turned down yet another role. Back in 2012, during an interview with Vulture, she was asked if she would ever consider doing a superhero movie, and she said she was open to any genre, but stated, and I quote, "Usually the female parts in the superhero film feel thankless. She's the pill girlfriend while the guys are whizzing around saving the world." So I guess she would want a hero-only part, and one that is kicking some serious butt. Who knows, maybe Marvel will be forgiving and try her again one day, although they've been turned down twice already, so it appears they've moved on. Sliding into number 8, we have Will Smith, another actor who turned down a great opportunity but in the DC universe. Apparently he was the first black hero who was considered to play Superman in Superman Returns. Turns out he didn't take the role because of the criticism he faced after portraying the traditionally white hero of Wild Wild West. I can totally understand why you might be more hesitant to take it, but man, how can you turn down becoming the first black Superman? That's iconic. This would give Will the chance to star in a Marvel movie since he didn't take on the DC role, but how could they offer him something bigger than that? If he didn't take an offer like that, what would he take? It also doesn't help his case that he recently announced that he would be leaving the Suicide Squad series and won't be returning for the sequel. Will Smith and his reps refused to comment on the matter, but some sources have said it's due to scheduling conflicts. The actor isn't painting a very good picture for Marvel when it comes to being reliable or even interested for that matter. Taking the number 7 spot is Matt Damon. If you remember the 2003 movie Daredevil, which was titled a flop, apparently Matt dodged a bullet by turning down the role for it. Daredevil is another Marvel Comics property that ended up with Fox at some point during its development, but stems from the original Marvel Comics. Buddy actors Matt Damon and Ben Affleck were both huge fans of Daredevil. Matt even described Matt Murdock as their favorite superhero. Turns out that Matt was offered the part for Daredevil, which was a pretty tempting deal at first, but when he was approached with the project, he said he wasn't impressed with the script. Some couldn't believe he turned down a role from his favorite comics, but he said during an interview that he tried to divorce his emotions promotion from it. It's just another actor who is denying a Marvel role, and one that isn't his favorite comic. What else could Marvel offer for him if he's willing to deny that? Although, with the movie mostly being remembered as bad, it was probably a blessing in disguise. In at number 6, we have Ben Affleck, the runner-up to Matt Damon, who took the role of Daredevil after Damon denied it. In 2003, after Marvel's Daredevil movie hit the screens, nothing for Ben was ever the same. The movie is famously known to be bad and received a variety of bad reviews from critics. Fans have said that it is a movie that had the biggest impact on Ben's career, and not in a positive way. The worst part? Ben agrees. In 2015, during an interview with New York Times Daily, he told the interviewer that he hates Daredevil and it would have saved him a lot of embarrassment if his buddy Matt Damon would have accepted the role first. The movie has always followed him throughout his acting career, he said. Apparently, when he was hired to play Batman in Batman vs Superman, his poor performance as Daredevil was brought up several times. He still blames the movie for hurting his acting career and isn't eager to jump back into Marvel ever again. I think it's safe to say that he had his run with them, and the feeling is probably mutual. Halfway through the list at number 5, we have Kristen Stewart, also known as Bella from Twilight. She is one of many actresses who have come out and said that she'd be more than happy to take a role in the MCU. In one of her interviews, she stated that she would love to appear next to Captain America and show the world she can do more than just Bella Swan in the Twilight series. But shockingly, MCU fans weren't enthused in the slightest at the idea of her possibly joining their beloved superhero universe one day. Fans have no problem stating online that she's nowhere near ready or worthy for a gig in the MCU. It doesn't help her case that she was offered a role already in the DC movie Man of Steel as Lois Lane, but she turned it down. According to the New York Daily News, Kristen had a meeting to discuss the role of playing Superman's love interest, but apparently the meeting didn't last very long. Turns out she claimed she had no desire to jump into another franchise even though Twilight was over. So maybe she's just all talk when she said she would be more than happy to take on a role, because guess what, Kristen, the MCU is also a franchise, and one you're probably not ready for. And don't think people have forgotten about her cheating scandal with the director Rupert Sanders from one of her previous movies. People don't forget a reputation like that, especially when it involves the acting industry. Coming in at number 4, we have Mel Gibson, once a very respected and successful actor, but one that is now known for being in scandalous and illegal activities. The actor has had no problem sharing pretty harsh words and has gotten in trouble with the law on a number of occasions. Needless to say, he's not exactly the most popular casting choice right now, especially for Marvel. For starters, I don't think family-friendly Disney would ever want someone like Mel Gibson representing the MCU. And turns out he was already offered a role back in the day and turned it down. He was offered to play the role of Odin in Thor, which is Thor's dad, but he turned it down with no reason at all, simply that he didn't want to do it. And like many other words, he has no problem saying it how it is. During an interview when he was asked about being offered a role in the superhero movie, he said, and I quote, "Yeah, long time ago to play Thor's dad, but I didn't do it." He went on to say that he had no interest, and Marvel probably sees that as a blessing with Mel's awful new reputation he has built for himself since then. Alright guys, at number 3 we have Henry Cavill, also known as Superman from the DCU. Everyone knows the rule of thumb that DC actors can't be in Marvel movies and vice versa. Although the two universes are not in competition with each other, it's just a rule when it comes to casting. Which sucks for actors because they ultimately have to pick their universe and stick with it. And Henry has done just that. No hard feelings for him taking on the role of Superman, but now Marvel won't hire him. Which might be an okay thing because there has been a lot of controversy about rumors stating Henry is leaving his role as Superman. He has played the iconic character in 3 DC comic movies already and was supposed to make a cameo in the recent Shazam movie, but scheduling conflicts prevented him from making an appearance. The rumors that he was leaving the franchise have spiraled out of control on the internet, and he simply responded with an Instagram video that has him staring into the camera as he slowly brings up a Superman figurine into the frame and then moves it out again. Which you could imagine just made the fans go absolutely mental. Is he staying? Is he leaving? Which is it? Marvel doesn't have time for those kinds of games, and even if Henry wanted to, he doesn't have time for Marvel. He's still locked in with the DCU and also just signed onto another franchise called The Witcher. So he's a pretty busy man with some pretty big franchise obligations. At number 2 we have Hugo Weaving, also known for his epic role of the Red Skull in the MCU. In 2011, Captain America: The First Avenger was a huge success and followed the story of Steve Rogers Rogers being exposed to an experimental treatment that turned him into a superhero. But the movie wouldn't be complete without his arch enemy, the Red Skull. Critics raved about his performance, and so did his fans, but Weaving wasn't as thrilled about it. In interviews, the actor has said flat out that not only is he not returning for his role of Red Skull, but that he would never work on a Marvel movie again. He said it in a graceful way, but he said he only wants to do movies he has a personal connection to. Well, fair enough, I guess. Taking our number 1 spot is David Hasselhoff, who once took on the role as Nick Fury in a terrible movie back in 1988. The movie has been labeled as atrocious, but Hasselhoff seems to think differently. To this day, he still raves about how he was the original Nick Fury and that he was the best one to do it. During an interview, he stated, and I quote, "I loved Sam Jackson, but you know, my Nick Fury was the organic Nick Fury that was written and discussed with Stan Lee before anyone got in there and changed it. Nick Fury was written to be tongue-in-cheek, and he had a cigar in his mouth. He was a tough guy. He was cool." I doubt the MCU fans would agree that Hasselhoff's version of Nick Fury would have been a better choice for the Avengers over Samuel L. Jackson's newer version. Not to mention, he probably wouldn't be welcomed back into the MCU anyways with the new reputation he has going for himself. He's been in a number of different scandals, more recently known for the drunk videos his daughter has posted on the internet, which has caused a lot of controversy. Let's just leave Nick Fury with Jackson, and Hufflepuff, Hasselhoff, whatever can be on his way. Alright guys, there is part 3 to our ridiculously fun list of actors who Marvel won't hire. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of this list, and give it a thumbs up if you liked it. For now, let's check out some comments from part 2. Strifeco Studio says, "To be honest, with all the drama that Brie Larson has caused, Ronda Rousey would be a better choice. Just saying." Damn, you are going to take a lot of heat for that comment. Better you than me. Betty Ann Dean says, "I'm a big fan of Marvel and we would not miss Tom Cruise one little bit. He can take Scientology with him." Preach, girl. Destroyer says, "Who cares? Marvel makes garbage now." You guys are getting really savage in these comments. Janet McIntyre Challenger says, "I personally have never seen a Marvel movie." Like, ever? None? Not one? That's crazy to me. On that note, I am getting the hell out of here. Don't forget to subscribe before you go. I'm your host Joss, and I'll see you next time.